All right, guys, welcome back to Sussy Stuff. My name's Blythe, and I am here with Clay. And if you missed his interview from a couple weeks back, be sure to go and watch this. But we're so happy to have him on today to talk about this Texas and Clemson matchup. You have two dogs in this fight. What
Absolutely.
what are you feeling going into this game? And for fans that haven't seen that episode that you're in, just talk a little bit about what your role is right now, what your role might be on Saturday if you're working the game, and just a little bit of background information about your time at Clemson and then now with this Texas football program.
Yeah, it's been an awesome football season being on the outside now, working for the college sports company. And my background, I have way too many allegiances, but they meet again this weekend. So, started my professional career after I graduated from Kentucky undergrad, got my master's at Clemson. And so that's where I was a GA and was on the creative team there for the 2017 playoff run. Kelly Bryant and that crew. I'll forever have to say I was in between the two national titles, but loved getting to work with that staff. And I was actually scrolling through the staff directory the other day, and I was like, "There's so many friendly, familiar faces that are still there." And so, like, that's what's been cool for not only Clemson but then my other alma mater, Kentucky. Like, the staffs are all the exact same. So, kind of cool when they'll roll into town this weekend. Get a little bit of Clemson family here. So definitely excited about that. But then, the other half of my rent that gets paid, my girlfriend Devin works for Texas. She's the director of social there, and so have been able and very lucky to be around the program and around the athletic department. That it's just such a great operation and get to be a part of that a little bit. And I've shot a couple games this season, but I'll be in the stands on boyfriend duty this weekend in the stands. So excited for it though. Like, it's going to be so fun to see the two oranges, clash and have some purple maybe sprinkled in. But it'll be cool to have everybody here. All the other playoff games are like 20 degrees. Will be mid 60s, beautiful Saturday in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I did see on the uniform that they are going to have a little hint of purple. So that will be something new and super exciting. But for the fans that are traveling to Austin, give us like a fan guide of maybe some places that are must see sites, maybe somewhere fun to eat or things to do for all the fans that are traveling there. Just what are the must?
Yeah, there's so much to do in Austin, and like I've loved living here this year, and then visiting Devon in the year past. So it's been awesome to kind of explore and see everything. And so, all right, here's my game day guide. Like, there's no tailgating. It's an interesting place that, like, just how it's located on campus. The stadium is not, there's nowhere to tailgate, put up tents, etc. So not the same as kind of outside Death Valley, but what I do love, though, and it's really actually probably best for the visiting fans, is that there's so much happening around the stadium, though. They have Bevo Boulevard you can go to. There's all kinds of different setups. Pat Green is a country artist, is playing Longhorn City Limits before the game, so he'll go on at like 1 o'clock Central Time. So, like, just a lot to do, honestly, but won't be your traditional tailgating that you're probably used to grilling out, etc. But plenty of beer outside the stadium, food. So it's great. I love it. It's such a fun, like, game day atmosphere. It's very professional, which, I'm a traditionalist in like a lot of the SEC schools. It's just not the same as growing out, but you know what, just as fun. So everyone that comes in for the game, if you're flying in like Friday, like, it's going to be a beautiful day too. So going around exploring, there's a lot of great barbecue. Terry Black's is like the iconic spot right downtown. And so, like, go to that, go bounce around. The state capitol is right in the heart of downtown. Just all sorts of fun stuff to do. And it'll be nice out so you can kind of walk around. The campus is beautiful. And I think really you can't go wrong. Like, all of the food, literally all downtown. There's a bunch of Christmas bars set up right now. So it'll be very festive around town in Austin.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's interesting. I didn't know they didn't tailgate or anything, but still, fans, now you know where to go and what to do. But talking about this game, these two teams have never met before, but these quarterbacks are very familiar with each other.
It's crazy. There's a lot of familiarity, obviously, between Quinn and Cade, but I think it's sprinkled throughout the roster. Like, and you got to look at Makuba too, transferring over. Like, that's been a cool storyline. I know that the guys in the locker room are really trying to win one for him on the Texas side. So, and I think it'll probably be the same, right? Everybody's just familiar, and it's crazy that these two programs haven't met before. Probably now in the 12-team playoff era, this should probably happen a little more frequently, I would assume.
I think so too. I was looking at one of the interviews, and I can't remember who it was, but one of the Clemson guys texted him immediately and said, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe this matchup, whatever." So that'll be really cool to see. But what did you think about how the 12-team playoff was laid out? Like, what do you think of these 12 teams that are in there? I know a lot of people were kind of iffy with SMU, but what did you feel about the 12 teams that ended up being in the playoff and or on this run for this national championship?
I love it being expanded, like being a part of playoff runs before, with only 4 teams, like that was an extremely difficult thing to obtain and get to. And now it made the regular season better because even Indiana's late season, matchups really were so much more impactful and had a lot on the line. And same with Penn State, all these teams, and even the South Carolinas, them having a chance to get back in it after losing a couple games, like that's exciting and makes the product that much better. So my only critique is that I wish that it would be like, here's your ranking, and the buys guaranteed to certain conferences. Like, I'm not a huge fan of.
Mhm.
I think that like Texas being the number 3 overall team and then they don't get a buy is crazy to me. So I think it will expand probably even more, probably to 14 teams is what they're already talking about. So I can only see it going up, and I think it'll make the product better. I think you got to look at the conference championship weekends though, because then there's too many games going on.
Yeah,
But it still makes the regular season that much more exciting that everyone has a chance to get in, and so it makes these matchups like I'm excited to watch ball all Friday, Saturday, this weekend. So like each one of the games are going to be must watch. And so I think really like they did a great job, but I think that you should look at, hey, if you're ranked number 3, number 4, you get a buy. So
yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And, obviously, Clemson has played in these high caliber games before. What do you think needs to happen for Clemson to be able to walk into a place like Texas and get the win on Saturday?
yeah, what an advantage for Dabo's staff. That, and again, like I said, a lot of them have been there for a very, very long time, so they know the schedule. I mean, thinking about just scouting opponents and like having that system all figured out, like that's going to be a big advantage for them. And if they were to advance to Atlanta next week or New Year's Eve, right? So I think for Clemson to go win this football game, like they can't worry about like being the same physical, up front in the trenches is Texas. Like Texas is pretty powerful in the trenches. But I think that if they get their skill guys right and Cade plays, like I look back I watched the Pittsburgh game earlier this year, like he balled out and like just putting his people in the right place and managing the game correctly, and then him making plays on his own. What he had like a 70-yard touchdown run in that game. Like if he can be the X factor for him, and all the pressure in the world is going to be on him coming back
Yeah.
home.
Mhm.
I know all of his family and friends, I'm sure, will be there. So, like,
Yeah.
that's a lot to handle going into a game. But at the same time, what an opportunity for him
Yeah.
to help lead his team. And if he doesn't look phased, then the rest of his team are not going to be as well. So, like, that's going to be a big key is that, like, can he handle that emotion and the pressure leading up into it? So, I think that's probably where Texas has the edge is they're just like cool, calm, and collected. And like they're going to be super even killed because Coach Sark is like
Yeah.
he has been all year. So like he's able to just ride the wave and stay steady, and so the team is steady through losses and through crazy games and whatnot. Like he's been steady. So for the emotional roller coaster of it, like I think that's also let's not
Yeah.
kid ourselves. Like that's an advantage for
Yeah.
Dabo. He's inspiring. Like I love being in the locker room and being around the program. That like it got me fired up when I was there. So like I know that it's going to translate to the team, and they're going to be ready to go. And so like it's just going to be a great football game.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to come down to probably these 2 Texas high school quarterbacks
Yeah.
dueling it out and who can make the one big play to win it.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a cool story, and I don't know. I'm just super excited. But I have to ask the last question. I mean, who are you picking this weekend?
I'm gonna go with Texas. I think that they're probably the better team, and also I can't wait to go hopefully farther deep into this
Yeah,
playoff run with Devin and get to experience all those fun things. And we got to go to the Sugar Bowl last year, the only
that's so fun.
team of the four last year that are in it again. So should be exciting. I hope we get to go to Atlanta and Dallas and back to Atlanta would be very fun. I definitely can't wait to see a lot of the Clemson family coming in, and Coach Rump was at Tennessee with me as well, the D line coach, and so love a lot of those people in that building, and excited to see them. But I do hope that Devin gets the win on Saturday. It'd be a lot more fun heading into Christmas.
Well, I can't pick against my Tigers, especially underdog Davo. Never. But
You're right.
do you have Texas going all the way, taking it all at the end?
I think if you look at it, like how it lays out, and I love what Kenny Dillingham has done at Arizona State. Like, what a
Yeah,
guy! He's electric and a really fun follow. If for casual football fans, if you haven't watched his press conferences and the content from him, like he's electric. He's a great coach too. So like they'll be ready. But like Texas is coming on a mission to win that one. I think they can get past Arizona State, and then you got to look at it. It's basically going to be a home game
yeah,
in Dallas at the
yeah,
Cotton Bowl. That would be the worst nightmare for an Oregon, Ohio State, or Tennessee. Like, how are you going to go play right in the heart of Texas? So I would love to see that matchup happen, and then Texas win at home
yeah,
in that stadium where they won a Big 12 title last year, so they're comfortable in there. So like when that happens, then now you're headed back to Atlanta for a third time in a month. And so it's like, all right, well, now we got the lay of the land of this stadium. And so, you know what? If it is Georgia for a third time, that would be insane. And much like college basketball, it's hard to beat a team three
yeah,
times.
yes,
So we'll
Lord,
see. I hope that is a chance for a rematch again.
yeah.
I would prefer to never see Georgia in person again, but no, they're so good, and so like I would love to see them, and let's get that monkey off her back and go win a national title. So I'm dropping Wheeze here as for Texas, but uh, yeah, I think Clemson will be so fun to watch on Saturday too, though, and you know what, same kind of path. Once you
Yeah.
get into these tournament style weekends, anything can happen, and like all
Mhm.
these teams have earned it. They're here for a
Yeah.
reason. Each one of them could have a chance to go all the way.
Yeah, these games this weekend are gonna be so exciting. I didn't even really know how to pick for any of them really. But just super excited, and maybe third time will be the charm for your Texas Longhorns. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. Fans, you know where to go this weekend. If you are in Austin, we are so excited. Thank you for following us and subscribing, and we will see you next time.